Okay. I've got my cameras mixed up here. Okay. Thank you. This is Ray Starling here, and it's Wednesday afternoon. It is Hawaii, the state of clean energy, and we're here to talk to you about clean energy. I'm here with Sharon Moriwaki, who is my co-host. She's with the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum, and Dave Gorman, who is the general manager of RevoluSun Smart Home. We're going to talk to Dave in just a minute and see what's happening with RevoluSun's new smart home project. And before we go there, I wanted to have a negawatt moment. As you know, Hawaii Energy, which is a rebate and incentive program that is actually sponsored by the PUC. It uses ratepayer funds to fund all sorts of special things that help people to reduce their impact on the grid by reducing their energy use. And basically today I wanted to just mention that we have a website that really captures everything that we do. We put it up on the website and try to reach people in this way. And basically, if you go to our website, you'll see a new appearance. We have a number of new items there. And I wanted to focus you on just one, because if you go and look at it and see this one new item we have, you'll see all the other nice things that we have. So if you go to our homepage, you'll see right there on the right-hand side a square that's called Hawaii Energy's Dare to Compare. And basically, if you have your power bill in front of you, if you are a ratepayer here in Hawaii, all the islands except Kauai, you can go in and look on that bill and find your name exactly as it's stated on your bill. You can put that in. You also can find the account number, put that in, and then the contract number, which is also on the top of the bill. Put that in, hit the button, and suddenly you are looking at your house or your business and looking at how it compares with your neighbors. And we look to show you sort of how you fit with the standards that have been established in your neighborhood in terms of graphs and numbers that show you how well you're doing or how poorly you're doing. And it's based on the last month's work or the last month's bill, and you can actually go in there and compare yourself in multiple ways, and you might be 39 out of 104. You can also drill down on your actual neighborhood and see we've got a Google Maps in there. And this is a great place to get started, because what it will show you fairly quickly is whether you're doing better or worse than the folks in your neighborhood. And what we also want to do is attract you to our website so that you can see all of the other things that we offer to the ratepayers of Hawaii. So with that, I think if you can go...
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm a condo owner. Can you get into a condo unit and compare me with other units or other condos?
If you get if you get a bill from the power company, you can go in, and it's the system is set up so that it actually won't give you enough information if the radius needs to be broadened in order to capture enough people so that you don't know if you're within an area and you only have 3 neighbors. And you look at that, you can probably figure out who the neighbors are. And we're trying to make this anonymous except for you. And if you've got the data on your bill, you can go in and go there. And I think with a condo, I haven't tried it myself, but with a condo, you can probably see a lot of your neighbors. And if you're in a condo, it's probably a good place to compare, because most condominiums are of similar size and nature, so that you should be pretty close to your neighbors in terms of usage, but you might find that you're not. Now there is one item, we actually have to segregate the people who don't have PV from the people that do have PV, because right now, until we get smart meters applied across the board, we really have no way of knowing how much PV is actually being generated versus the utility. All we can do is show you what right now is being billed to you from HECO. But we do compare those, and you can see some really nice charts that that'll either make you feel really good and proud and want to go brag about it, or feel like, oh my gosh, something must be wrong with me. So,
you're not counting correctly.
or wrong with the program, right? Yeah, we'll get a lot of calls now. In fact, we're looking forward to having some comments or some people going to the website to start looking at this, because we really haven't had a formal rollout yet. We wanted to let it out and let it kind of be tested a bit, because there are a lot of things that have to come together.
So it's up now, though?
It's up now, yes. It's up now, it's real, it's being worked on every day to add more bells and whistles to it. So it's pretty impressive. So
that's great.
Go take a look. Really
good.
Is this related to the mailer I used to get when I lived in a condo that sort of presented the same picture?
It's similar to that, but this is real time. You can go in right now, and it actually gives you a little bit more information. And if you are getting the mail out letters, it will also let you go into a system that will get you suggestions from that letter as to what you can do to improve your performance.
That's great.
So we're trying to grab you in whatever way we can get you, so that we can capture your attention and help you to save energy,
so
which
it's
is really what we're there
so
for.
I see it on the screen and I say, gee, how can I reduce that? Then I could write back to you by email, or is it like on the screen? Do you have a feedback loop on the screen to say, what can I do? And then
that's a good point. We do get feedback, but on this particular module that we've got on there now, we don't have something that's automatic, send back a comment or a request. But I will write that down, and we will have that soon.
An email or something, so you can have somebody respond.
Yeah.
That's how you can get people to actually change their behavior. Good,
Well,
sounds good.
Yeah. Well, and that's the Negawatt moment for today, and we'll get on with, let's talk a little bit about the news. What's happened in the news here lately in the energy world?
Well, you saw this morning's paper with the Big Island, the Hawaii Island Energy Co-op.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with Marco and Richard Ha putting something together.
It's very similar to what they've got in Kauai.
Yeah.
They want to do it for the Big Island. That's interesting.
Yeah. Do you do statewide? You go to Kauai as well as the Big Island and Oahu? Or?
We have been on the Big Island for some time. We're sort of focusing our efforts, especially with the RevoluSun Smart Home, on Oahu right now. But we do plan to get out to the outer islands with these products as well.
Well, and the new chair passed the Senate vote, which is the big vote, really.
Did he pass it? I thought it was the committee. Well, and the committee. In the committee.
Okay.
Yesterday.
I'm sorry. It was the committee. He still has to go before the...
He has to go to the full Senate. But
right.
It looked like he had very positive comments and reviews, so it should not be a problem.
So it'd be good to get him on board, so there's so much work to do. And I think I saw the PUC was issuing some rulings today. I haven't read about them yet, but I saw them referenced in an email, so...
Yeah, so I heard that he was saying that there are a number of things still on the docket that they have to make decisions on. So if that's done, then he can get into the real deal, I guess, the Nextera project and what its offering is. So the PUC has its real hands full. Yeah.
Very full, you're right. Yeah. So, why don't we start talking with Dave? Again, the general manager of RevoluSun Smart Home. And could you tell us a little bit about this concept? It's not just PV
It's not. So
you've expanded.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
And you know, I think a lot of folks know RevoluSun for our work in photovoltaics. We've been doing this quite a while in, you know, PV/dog years. We've since 2009, which is a long time. We've been known as, you know, sort of the high quality, high performance PV provider here in Hawaii, and sort of been in the works for about a year and a half. But you know, recently we've sort of brought 7 new products to market, geared around having a more holistic approach to sort of solving the home's, you know, energy dynamic, but also making it, you know, a healthier, more automated, more comfortable place to live. So a lot of the products do have an energy efficiency component to them. Some of them just have sort of a health and wellness. So we have natural lighting solutions. So we spend so much of our time indoors in an artificial environment with electric lighting and air conditioning. And so one of the things is we have PV-powered fresh air skylights. So they bring natural light into the home. They also open and close very conveniently with a remote control. It has a PV panel built into the skylight. So it powers itself by harnessing the power of the sun. And so I can program it to open up my skylights every day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon before I get home, allow the home to breathe, get some fresh air in there. I've got natural light back into the house, which is, you know, just a healthier way. Plenty of studies that show that we're, you know, happier, harder working, better studying people in natural light. We also have sun tunnels. So where skylights don't work, there's sort of a tubular structure that brings the light from the roof down into the interior space. And those can be outfitted with an electric light in them as well, because obviously if we're putting that in the bathroom or the closet, we might want to use that fixture at night. And so when there isn't any sunlight, now I can turn on an electric light and sort of replace that traditional light fixture in there.
So you have storage someplace in the system then, so that whatever you get from PV to be used at night?
Yeah, you would just draw the same electricity from your home's electrical system that can be powered with photovoltaics as well. Another is our PV hot water systems. So you're certainly familiar with solar thermal, and a lot of homeowners in Hawaii are familiar with solar thermal, solar hot water systems.
It was really the first solar around.
And what is it? It's about, is it 2 out of 3 homes actually have?
It's not quite 2 out of 3.
1 out of 3 maybe?
I'm sure it's probably, I should know
it's
the
up
numbers,
there.
but it's up there.
Yeah.
We have a lot more solar
than anywhere else in the country.
Solar water than others, yes, but I don't know the exact number.
So we've sort of come out with sort of the next generation of that system, which uses PV panels that generate electricity that power the heating elements in the hot water tank.
Okay, tell you what, let's take a break right now, and when we come back, you can tell us more about how this works.
Sounds great.
Okay, all right, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm your host on ThinkTech Asia, Bill Sharp. I look forward to you joining us each Monday between 4 and 5 o'clock when we film right here in our studio in downtown Honolulu. The show, ThinkTech Asia, focuses on contemporary events in Asia. And by Asia, we mean anything from Hawaii, south to Australia and New Zealand, west to Pakistan, and as far north as the Russian Far East. Clearly, this is one of the most economically dynamic centers of the world. And we bring you up to date on what's going on in a whole host of countries in this very vital region. We look forward to seeing you. Aloha.
All right, we're back with you. It's Hawaii, the state of clean energy. We're here with my co-host Sharon Moriwaki and David Gorman, who is the general manager of RevoluSun Smart Home. And before we took the break, we were starting to talk about the solar PV. Can you explain how that works?
You could tell us, I'm a customer coming into your smart home. Tell me what you would do with me to tell me about all the kinds of 7 products you have or what I can do. What would you do?
So PV is still the hallmark of the company. And when we're talking to new customers now, we're actually getting more interest than we ever have, frankly, in getting the net metering agreement application put in. Because You know,
You
there
wanna make
is
money.
this, you know, reality that Hawaiian Electric is trying to phase that out. So lots of people are trying to get their application in so they can be included in the net metering program. So we still believe, you know, first and foremost, that's the most important and timely thing to do right now, is get your net metering application put in for your PV system. We're doing that free of charge. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for folks to get that application in. And then we start talking about the other things we can do to the home to either bring some of the usage down or, like I mentioned, make it kind of a healthier, more comfortable place to live. So we'd start with PV, and then we'd probably start talking about how you heat your water. And so before we went to break, we were talking about the PV hot water systems that we're installing. And they have PV panels that generate electricity that power the heating elements in the tank. And you know, the great thing about them is it doesn't require HECO approval, because there is no bidirectional connection to the home's electrical system. So the electricity made can never leave the home. It's just gonna power the heating elements in the tank. So we don't need approval. We can get those installed, you know, very quickly. And then immediately, you know, if you don't have solar thermal or, you know, an energy efficient means of heating your water, you know, save some money, save some energy usage right away while that PV NEM application is being approved. And then if we need to go back and revisit the PV system design, when it gets approved, we can certainly do that and potentially, you know, bring some of the PV panels for the, you know, rest of the house down, because we're heating the water already and saving money and energy on that PV hot water system. So then we would ask sort of, you know, what are some of the important things, you know, to you, you know, in a living environment, and talking about natural lighting and fresh air in the home. You know, different people gravitate towards the various benefits of the products, which I think is something that's really exciting, that, you know, we've gotten a lot of feedback from the customers we've spoken to, folks that have come into our new showroom and attended one of our seminars. And, you know, sort of there is a different benefit for people who are looking for different things. And so, you know, having all of these products really allows us to service, you know, a larger number of you know, potential clients.
So your showroom is, oh, sorry. Where's your showroom, and does it have all this equipment there, so I can walk in and it's like saying, okay, I want this.
Exactly.
How does this work?
So it's design, you know, it's sort of a design center, much more of a retail type environment. So you can come in, we're open every day of the week. We've got all of these new products on display, and so you can see them, touch them, talk to one of our specialists. They can, you know, describe the benefits and see how they might, you know, fit into your lifestyle and living situation. And then schedule, you know, we do then come out to the house, and every project is specific, and everybody's energy use is, you know, specific to that home and the way they live. And so then we can start kind of piecing these products together to create a solution that, you know, meets those individual family needs.
So do you do an energy audit when you go out to their home to say how much energy they're using and what this impacts?
Exactly.
And then can use raise system thereafter to see
Yeah, especially with the PV hot water, you know, we get very specific, right? How many loads of laundry do you do a week? How many showers do you take? How long are those showers? That gives us a sense of how much hot water you need, and then we size the system appropriately so that you're getting that hot water, you know, powered by the sun.
Wow.
You spoke earlier about the fact that you don't need to get approval from the utility. So that raises a question, I think I know the answer, raises the question about what happens if the sun's not shining too much and you don't have enough hot water. Where do you get your hot water from?
Great question.
How's that a tee? That's
yes,
a tee up.
Teed it up for me. So one of the other benefits of these systems is that there is still a heating element that's connected to the utility. So in the event,
but not connected to your PV, except
exactly.
the element
totally
is
separated
in the tank itself. Yes.
There's actually 3 elements that can be powered by the PV panels, and then 1 element that's attached to the utility.
And that comes on automatically if the water gets to a certain low temperature.
If it ever gets below 120 degrees, then that utility heating element will kick in and bring it back up above 120 degrees. For the most part, the PV heating elements will keep the water temperature in the tank to about 140 degrees. And that's typically plenty of hot water for a home's use, there's a mixing valve on the top of the tank that will sort of take a sip of hot water and mix that with incoming cold water to deliver the 120 degree or so water that most people like, you know, at the shower or at the
Is there a
faucet.
point where the PV would turn off if it was too hot?
Yes. So that's sort of one of the benefits of these systems as well, is they're designed to maintain more of a consistent temperature. So you don't get those really high, you know, with thermal systems, the water can get really, really hot.
In the summertime, it surely does. Yeah.
And that, you know, sometimes can be hotter water than you want at the faucet. It can also tend to wear on the internal components of the system. So, you know, the beauty of having these electric heating elements is that we can keep that water temperature consistent at about 140 degrees. And that's sort of a, you know, more stable environment for you at the faucet, but also for the internal components of the water system itself.
So the mixing valve is right on the tank itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right on the top
Is
of the
that
tank.
electronically driven, or is it thermostat?
It's thermostat
spring
driven.
type thermostat? Yeah,
Yep.
that's good.
Yeah.
In the past, you know, when you wanted to conserve electricity, you would turn it, you would have a timer that would go
Yes.
on or off. So
Yes.
you don't need that. At this point, it just kind of does it
So
automatically.
you
or-
can
When it
have
needs
one
to.
of those installed as well. So if you wanted to control it, because it will, the utility power will kick on if it goes below 120 degrees. And so if you don't want that to occur, you know, except within these time frames, a lot of people are familiar with the little gray boxes or another timing
Right.
element. So you can attach one of those to control the utility power as well.
Because everybody gets up in the morning early,
Right.
takes a shower, and then so the hot water heater's ready to start trying to heat, but the sun hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to leave the house, so you don't need it to come
don't
on.
have- yeah.
After
And the sun will
everybody's
come up
gone.
at
Right.
10 o'clock and start heating the water. So you want to turn off the, I guess, the utility service to the tank at that point.
Exactly.
Until the sun has a chance to try to heat it up, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, usually you'll get that water up to, you know, 140 degree temperature by the end of the day, and it will not cool, you know, it cools about a half a degree every hour. So you're usually going to be at the point where you wake up in the morning that you've got plenty of hot water for that morning shower. But as you're saying, if after you take all those showers, the water temperature drops, maybe you don't need the utility power to kick right back on and start heating the water because the
when you
PV
need
is
it.
about to get going and heat the water back up.
Okay. Good.
So what other, you
Good.
said
Yep.
7 products. So what are
Yes.
the other ones?
I bet they're all in here.
Yes, so I don't know if you, so we've got my little brochure here, and you can see this is sort of our vision of this RevoluSun Smart Home. And we categorize these products into energy, light, air, water, and automation/security. So we talked a little bit about the lighting, and we talked about the water. Another water-related product are the IntelliFlow variable speed pool pumps. So when we used to go in and, you know, do a proposal for a PV system, if somebody had a pool, that was usually one of the first things we asked, was if they had one of these IntelliFlow variable speed pool pumps, because you can save a lot of energy just by installing one of those. So now, you know,
So what does that do? I'm not familiar, I don't have a pool.
it's to put it, you know, really simply, you can set it, because most pool pumps run at 1 speed and that's it, right? And so what these can do is run at a lower speed for a longer period of time, use less energy, and actually have the benefit of making the filter work a little bit better, because you're not moving that water as quickly, and so more of the particulates can, you know, get captured by that
Yeah,
filter.
pool pumps are a
Big energy
big
user.
energy
Yeah.
user. And we rebate for people who go out and actually get
Change
a,
out.
change out their pumps. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the biggies.
So another one in the air category are these quiet, cool whole house fans. So you ever go to the beach,
Yeah,
occasion.
yeah.
leave your car in the hot sun,
Oh, yeah.
get back into the car? So do you sit there with the windows up and turn the air conditioning on and wait for it to cool down, or what do you do?
No, we roll the windows down and we drive.
Exactly. So that's
But
kind of
the
how
air.
these fans work. So the idea is we have these fans located in your attic. You'll come home, you'll turn the fans on. They pull the fresh air from outside and they bring the temperature inside your home down to the ambient temperature outside. Cools your attic at the same time because you're pulling all that air up from the outside into the house, the hot air from inside your house into the attic, forcing your attic to exhaust. And then if you still need the house cooler, you can close the windows and turn the AC on. But like in your car, where it can take much longer to try to cool that hot air in the house.
Hold that
in the
thought.
car. Okay, we're going to another
We
break.
have to take another break, and we'll be right back in just a minute.
Aloha, I'm Hunter Hevlin, host of Sustainable Hawaii here at ThinkTech Hawaii. You can tune in every week on Thursday at 2 p.m. to see interviews with sustainability professionals from around the state and even further abroad, learning about activities with water management, food security, waste management, and a whole host of other fascinating opportunities to get engaged with making a greener island. So if you're interested in making the transition from consuming individuals to communities of producers, check us out every Thursday.
Hi, I'm Jay Fidel. That's Ted Ralston. You know, Ted is the host of Where the Road Leads. It shows every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. It's about technology. It's about how people collaborating and solve problems with modern technology. It's where the road leads. We all know that. We should all be listening. Join us there, 4 to 5 p.m. every Friday. Now, what about that do you agree with?
All of it.
I knew he'd say that. Aloha. Say aloha.
Aloha.
Good.
Okay, we're back. We're with you on Wednesday afternoon. It's Why the State of Clean Energy. I'm here with Sharon Moriwaki, my co-host, and we've got with us today Dave Gorman, who is from RevoluSun Smart Home. And we're talking a little bit about some of the new products that, that you as a solar PV firm are actually out there selling now, and I'm very impressed with what you're doing. And could you tell us a little bit about sort of why you are getting into the business outside of just the PV?
So, you know, 6 years ago, I think a lot of us that got into this business, or I've been doing it since 2008, we, you know, sort of had this dream of looking out the whole Honolulu landscape, or, you know, the Lahaina landscape, or wherever you are, and seeing PV panels and homes that, you know, had ability to self-generate and save energy and reduce fossil fuel use, keep that money in the local economy. And, you know, we've, as an industry, I think been, you know, incredibly successful helping folks do that. And about a year and a half ago, we started thinking about, you know, a lot of the things we could do to further enhance the living experience of our clients. You know, we've helped 5,000 people, you know, reduce their energy bills and start generating their own power. And some of these are, you know, requests that have come from our clients. Others are things we found at green building shows and things on the mainland. And, you know, we sort of picked the 7 products that we thought had the most immediate impact and benefit to our existing clients that we've done PV for, and, you know, new clients that we're going to meet. So we're really excited about just being able to, you know, come into your home and have, you know, more of a, you know, holistic approach to making the house a better place to live.
We certainly would advise people to do that, because if you reduce your energy consumption, you don't need as much PV, you do not need as much power from the utility, and it helps the entire grid for your footprint to go down. So you're almost like one of our contractors now. We're going to have to really get together and talk to you about helping you to make these sales, because some of these products, I think, we should be helping with rebates and incentives. So that's this is a good
They might even give you ideas. They always come up with ideas where they can have rebates. You can see where you're not getting enough market penetration.
Right.
You can tell,
and you know, we'd like to also talk to you about, you know, what kind of responses are you getting from your customers? Because we would hope that most of them are already aware of some of these things, but that's hope, and the reality is a lot of them don't know what can be done to reduce their footprint.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Despite all of the commercials and so forth, it's
think
an
a lot
effort.
of people want hand-holding, so I think your approach of just coming in, one-stop shop, you know, we'll tell you how
That's
to do
right.
it, we'll do it for
Yeah,
you.
because it's hard
know,
to figure
yeah.
out who has what and
Yeah,
have a bunch of
yeah.
individual contractors come through
Mm-hmm.
and then to be able to sort of look at it, you know, like I keep saying, with a more holistic approach, you see
So
how
when,
the
so
different
when
products
you
fit
do,
together.
when a client does say, I want this, then you will install everything. I mean, so it really is not having to find somebody to then install this or
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good. Is this something that PV companies on the mainland are doing, or are they not there yet? Are we still leading the pack as far as that
yeah,
goes?
I think we're, so first, I think, you know, few of these products is this brand new thing, right? I mean, skylights have certainly been around for a long time, and sun tunnels and house fans have been around for a while, but not, you know, sort of top of mind here in Hawaii. And so we're sort of, you know, educating folks on these products that do exist. Now, solar companies on the mainland, I think, are sort of where we were, you know, a few years ago, where, you know, the market is really starting to expand and grow, and they're primarily focused on installing PV systems. And, you know, we really, I think, as a company, have the benefit of being in a place where we're sort of forced to think forward and stay ahead of the curve and innovate. And, you know, these are the first 7 of, you know, hopefully many more new products to come.
Great, great.
So your hope for the future is to constantly be out there looking at new products and
Yes.
bringing and adding it to your repertoire or
Exactly.
toolbox.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we're
Sounds
talking,
good.
you know, you were saying, you know, we need to talk and work more, and, you know, some of these products actually do have rebates available for them already,
Sure.
so you're already helping us out. One of them was the Quiet Cool Whole House fans we started talking about, and how we can, you know, sort of immediately cool the house, and then, you know, hey, you sit out on the lanai, it's pretty comfortable, it's just hot in the house. Well, it's kind of like maybe spending the rest of your life on the lanai, so maybe you don't need to turn the
I
air conditioning
absolutely
on.
agree. I absolutely,
Or
that's
if you,
great.
Or if you do, the air conditioning doesn't have to work as hard because it's starting at a lower starting point.
Right.
Then there's plenty of health benefits. So by continually freshening the air, and you design the systems to replace the air in the home every 2 to 3 minutes, you're pulling out all the allergens and VOC gases and you know, odors or, you know, what have you that's sort of in that stale air in the house, and so it makes it a healthier place to live
Sure.
too.
So you've been in business for what, six weeks, you said?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
RevoluSun Smart Home
So,
part of the business.
So have you had any clients where you've actually installed, and what's the?
Yeah,
how have
we've
you
had
done
quite a
that?
few of the PV hot water installations, and we're getting set to install our first couple of whole house fans and skylights. We've gotten lots of interest by folks that want to replace existing skylights. So, you know, before we kind of, my wife always teases me that, you know, you get into solar and then all you do is you spend your life looking at people's roofs. And, you know, now I'm looking at different things on their roof. So I notice all these old acrylic skylights out there. And, you know, they have sort of a life expectancy associated with them, and maybe they start to leak. And the new skylights are double pane, low E, so they're very energy efficient. They keep the heat out. So one of the things people maybe haven't liked about skylights in the past is it's been a, you know, source of heat in the home. Now it's keeping all that heat out. They can open and close now, so you get that fresh air.
So technology has really
yeah.
improved over
And so
over
we're
time.
just, a lot of interest in folks just wanting to replace their existing skylights.
Excellent.
So the response has been, it's
That's good.
Well,
been
okay,
amazing.
you know, like the company originally was kind of on the cutting edge of what was going on, one of the first companies to be doing PV. Your expansion, I think, is actually showing some more of that getting out there in front of the pack, so to speak.
You're,
Well,
you know,
thank you.
customer oriented, so that you can see what, you know, the customer needs and can
Exactly.
provide that, you know. Well, I guess the question I had too is how then, once you know, take them by the hand and put all this stuff in, how do you maintain it? Because there must be some way that you train your customers to to be aware, whether you have a smart meter or you have some gauge to say, okay, how much energy am I, using, or how can I improve? Is there something that's a maintenance part of this after you install?
Yeah, so we do have maintenance programs both for our PV systems as well as our PV hot water systems. So we can, once a year, or more often, if depending on where you live, come out and clean the PV panels, give it, a Jiffy Lube type look over to make sure it's, working as it should. We do the same thing for our PV hot water system, so we can come out and you should flush the tank, fairly regularly. You should check your anode rods. These tanks actually have 2 anode rods, so they're designed to really extend the lifespan of the tank itself. Those anode rods are supposed to collect, the calcified minerals that can, eat away at the inside of the tank. So we can come out and check those. And then as far as like monitoring your energy usage, we have a new smart home automation security system. It's basically the security systems of old have come a long way. So now they can wirelessly communicate with your front door lock, with your garage door opener, with outlet controls, so that, I ask people, hey, do you have power strips in your home? Yes. How often do you turn them on? Not that often. And so now you can plug them into these automated controls that communicate with your alarm system, that in turn communicate with your phone, and you can lay in bed at night and make sure the front door is locked and turn off all your power strips and go to bed. Or if you're heading off to dinner and, honey, did you lock the front door? Now you can check it on your phone. If you leave your garage door opener, garage door open, send you a text message, close it from where you are instead of having to turn around and go home.
Wow, that's great in itself.
Yeah. No more arguments on the way to dinner.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Oh, that's great.
So there's a revolution going on at RevoluSun.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there is a revolution.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, tell us where, looking out there a few years, are you going to be doing more of this or more regular standard PV?
I think we're going to be doing a lot of both, right? So I think that, we don't know for sure, we've never known for sure what the future of PV looks like. It's the solar coaster. But storage is, coming down in price, and it may be becoming a reality. So we're meeting with, technology providers weekly. That's really where a lot of the advancement in technology is happening. So technology is getting better. It's also getting more affordable. And you talk about reducing a home's energy use. Well, it's going to be critical when we start actually designing and installing PV systems with storage incorporated, because that if you can use less energy, that's going to have a direct benefit in the size of PV system you need and the amount of storage that you need. So I think that's where things will continue to develop on the PV side, and that's going to in turn create a lot of opportunity on this RevoluSun Smart Home side as well.
I've heard that storage is not yet that developed, the technology, but you're saying that you have found vendors or people who are developing that actually could have it and store enough so that at least at the residential level, you can keep the solar generated in the house and overnight. And
yeah, I think the storage has been relatively lead acid, stuff that's been around for a long time, or it's been lithium that's been extremely expensive. And so we're seeing the prices of the lithium batteries actually come down quite a bit and now become more affordable. There's also some new technologies like a deep cycle saltwater battery that, there's been some sort of well-publicized systems installed here in Hawaii.
Those are larger than what a residential
No,
unit would
like these, folks are designing these systems to be sort of modular and scalable.
Okay.
So they are solutions for the home. These batteries are typically better, they're sort of low density batteries, so typically better for your 110 loads, sort of need your lithium for the extra oomph for your 220. So
they're just installed on site.
But right now, I think while you have access to the net metering program, that's the most cost-effective thing to do is to, leverage the grid as your battery. But I think where we really hope to work with the PUC and the utility is to develop these PV with storage that are still connected to the grid, because that's what really makes it affordable. Is if you go totally autonomous,
Oh, yeah.
you need way more panels and way more storage because you have to plan for the worst.
Right.
But if you have that backup, it makes, and it should help with the technical, concerns that the utility has by, not having so much of that electricity exported during the
Right.
day,
Oh, yeah.
and not having to meet the demand fluctuations because, we're able to use that stored electricity at night. So
It kind of stabilizes it.
exactly. So that's where we're headed with PV, and we're going to continue to develop things on the smart home, and the two. It's one company, and so we're developing these projects with multiple products, and marching into the future together and trying to think creatively.
Yeah. How do you feel confident after the first 6 weeks that you're back here doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wake up
Gonna
every
really
morning
grow,
really
yeah.
excited about what I do, and feeling extremely positive about the response we've gotten from our consumer base. So we started with just some very we basically sent some emails to our current clients and got a tremendous response, and then sort of went public at the BIA Home Show, and we're doing 2 seminars a month in our showroom. So the second Wednesdays of every month and the third Saturdays, we have seminars open to the public. You can go to our website and RSVP for the seminars in our showroom.
Right.
And we've had great attendance, and folks come in interested in one product and they end up interested in 4. And
What's the age of the people that you see?
it's all over the place. There's no consistency over what product
That's
is more
interesting.
popular than
Yeah.
another. It's really been incredible.
Good, good.
So it's fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, and so most people are there to save money, or they're there because they want to help the environment, or, what are their motives for wanting to be part of this smart home?
I think it's both. I think everybody wants to do, something good for the environment, something good for our local economy. They definitely want to do something good for their personal finances. So I think they walk in the door, still they know us for PV. A lot of folks come in sort of with energy savings in mind. And then some of these lifestyle, improvement. A skylight has energy savings benefits because you're using less electric lighting.
Sure.
The whole house fan definitely has electric and energy savings in mind as well. But, they walk in sort of thinking of one thing, and then we help them open their minds to, other things that pique their interest.
Well, some people don't have the finances, or would you help them with that when they come in? They say, "Oh, I really like this, but wow, is it that much?" How do you, or do you help them with that?
We do, absolutely. So we have great established relationships with lenders, for PV locally. There's also leasing and PPA options for PV. So, there really is, little reason to not get a PV system because there's a myriad of financing options. For these new products, they are lower ticket items, so it's not, such a huge amount of money. Like, PV systems, before tax credits is, pretty substantial amount. So they're lower ticket items. We are in the process of working with local lenders to get specific financing programs in place. They will likely be, home equity related, but working on getting some unsecured products like there are for PV.
Well, good. We're about out of time, but we'd like to schedule to have you back sometime in the next few weeks or months.
Tell us when you start
An
getting the
update.
clients, an
Yes.
update, yeah.
I would
Find
love
out how
it.
many of your competitors are now adding this to their list of things that they will serve to customers. So best of luck to you, and we want to thank Dave Gorman for being with us today and talking about sort of the the RevoluSun of RevoluSun, right?
Very
going,
exciting that you're doing all of this in one place, too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah,
for having me.
yeah, good luck.
Love to come back.
Good luck, and come see Hawaii Energy, and we'll talk to you about some rebates,
More rebates for your
some of these
customers.
things.
Sounds great.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, it's Dave Gorman, who's the general manager of RevoluSun Smart Home, and he's our guest today. And Sharon Moriwaki is with me from the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. I'm Ray Starling, and thank you for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.
Aloha.
Aloha.